Just how many AI tools are you currently paying for? Now, how many are you actually using? If those two numbers are very different, congratulations, you've got shiny object syndrome. And honestly, Gen X should know better. Go ahead and think about every AI tool you've signed up for in the last year or two. Free trials, paid subscriptions, the one somebody raved about on LinkedIn, the one you downloaded at 11 p.m. because a YouTube ad made it look incredible, the one your friend swore was going to change everything. Now, think about how many of them you use consistently, not occasionally, not I should really get back to that and figure it out consistently. As in, it has a job, it does that job, and your business runs better because of it. For most people, that number is dramatically smaller than the first number. And the gap between those two numbers, that's not enthusiasm, it's not optimism, it's not being an early adopter, it's shiny object syndrome. And it is sucking up your time, your money, and your focus. Hey, welcome. I'm Lisa. If you're new here, I help Gen X business owners figure out what to do with AI and also importantly, sometimes more importantly, what not to do. Hit subscribe right now because this has kind of become a series and these videos are building on each other. And I think they're building on each other in ways that are going to be useful for you and for your business. So let's talk about why this is happening and what we can do about it. I'm going to say something with a whole lot of love for my people and a few eye rolls because, that's how we roll. We should know better. Gen X should absolutely know better than to fall for this. We're the generation that has watched more tech hype come and go than any other generation currently running a business. We watched the dot-com bubble inflate and explode. We watched Second Life get declared the future of commerce or whatever they said. We watched Google Glass get announced like it was going to replace our faces or something. We watched every single social media platform get declared mandatory for business. MySpace and Facebook, and it was Twitter, and it was Instagram, and some people got on Snapchat, and you have to dance on TikTok, and whatever launched last week. Well, actually, let's be honest, MySpace was awesome. I miss it. This guy was everybody's first online friend. We miss you, Tom. Side note, did you know that Tom now lives in Hawaii and travels the world pursuing his passion for photography? Living the dream, man. Absolutely living the dream. Anyway, some of those platforms mattered, some of them didn't, and some of them mattered a whole lot less than what they initially said they would. And we developed a pretty good radar for separating the signal from the noise. So, what happened with AI tools? Truthfully, the pace, that's what happened. AI isn't moving like previous tech cycles that we're used to. It's not one big thing you can evaluate and decide on and implement it. It's 100 new things every single week, each one announced like it's the one that's going to make the previous ones totally obsolete. New model drops, new launches, new game changing features, new LinkedIn posts from somebody who just automated their entire business in 72 hours. Yeah, BS. And honestly, even our finely tuned Gen X BS detectors can get a little overwhelmed when the noise is coming at us at this volume and at this speed. So we download, we sign up, we try it out, we get a referral code, we get distracted by the next one. Suddenly we're paying for six tools, using one and a half of them, wondering why AI hasn't saved us any time yet. Sound familiar? And if you're one of those Gen Xers like me who only recently discovered that you have ADHD and that's why you are the way you are, I know this sounds familiar. Hey, I see you. The thing to understand about all this is it's a problem beyond the obvious you're wasting your money angle. It's more than that. Every tool you add to your stack without a clear job costs you something, whether you're using it or not just the money. It costs you mental real estate. Every tool you have sitting in a tab or a bookmark or a subscription email, it's taking up a small but real amount of brain space. I don't know about you, but I don't have much more to spare. You're familiar with feeling a little guilty about not using it. You occasionally think, I really need to get back to that and figure this out. That's cognitive load and it compounds on itself. It creates decision fatigue. When you have multiple tools that could theoretically do the same thing, every time you sit down to do that thing, You have a micro decision to make. Which one do I use? Is this the right one for this task? Should I switch? Should I use a different one? That hesitation is friction, and the friction compounds too. It costs you depth. That's another thing. I think this is the big one. The people getting real results from AI right now aren't the ones with the most tools. They're the ones who went deep on a small number of tools and learned how to use them well and to their full potential. There's a version of AI fluency that only comes from using something consistently over time, learning its quirks, building your prompts, building around how it actually behaves, developing a real workflow. You can't get there if you're constantly jumping to the next thing. We talked about something very similar to this a few videos back when we talked about building reusable systems and prompt templates. You can't build a repeatable system around a tool that you swap out every 3 weeks. The system and the tool need to develop together. So I've been thinking about this a lot, and I have a way to approach this that I think might help a lot of us. And bear with me, it's a sports analogy, and I'm not a sports ball person, but I think anybody can relate to this. So think about it like a team, the roster versus the bench. Your roster, that's the tools that are actively in the game. They're on the field, they have a defined job, they're showing up consistently. You've measured their performance, they're doing well, you keep paying them, and they're earning their spot. These tools, they stay. Your bench is over here, and that's tools that you're evaluating on a time limit, though. You gave them a specific job, you're running a defined test, and at the end of that test, they either get promoted to the roster or they get cut. No lingering, no sitting the bench, no, I'll get back to that eventually. Promoted or cut. That's it. And then there's everything else. That's the tools that you signed up for without a clear job, the ones you're paying for out of habit or guilt or fatigue, or you forgot about them. I have plenty of those. Those need to go today, not eventually, literally today. And here's how to get to this. Set aside 30 minutes, block it off. It's an appointment, not someday, but this week. And do a full audit of every AI tool that you're currently paying for or actively using. For each one, I want you to ask just 3 questions. One, what is this tool's specific job in my business? Remember, not a category, but a job. Draft first pass client emails is a job. Help with content is a category. Number two, can I measure whether it's doing that job? Time saved, quality improved, friction reduced, something concrete, something quantifiable in your business. And number three, is this the only tool doing this job or do I have overlap? Personal experience tells me this one is kind of important. It's an expensive lesson too. So evaluate carefully is my best advice. And make sure you've got what you need, not 3 things that do the same thing. If you can't answer one of these questions clearly, that tool doesn't have a job. I mentioned this in a previous video, but a tool without a job, it's just noise. It's this new employee that you hired and you said, just help wherever. And then you wondered why they weren't doing a good job. Cut the ones without jobs. Move the ones you're genuinely curious about to the bench, but with a 2-week timeline. You got to limit it. Keep the roster tight. Only the stars make the team. And here's another thing to think about. The shiny object trap, it's not really about the tools. I thought it was, but it's not. It's about discomfort. So here's what I mean by that. Every time you're in the middle of trying to make something work, I mean, really work, not just look impressive for 5 minutes, there's a moment where it gets frustrating. The output is not quite right. The prompt needs refinement. The workflow is clunky and junky. And right at that moment of friction, that's when a notification comes in about a new tool that promises to do it better, faster, easier, cheaper, whatever. And we click on it and we do that because starting something new always feels better than grinding through something that's hard. The new tool that has that new car smell, that's what we want. It hasn't disappointed you yet. It's all potential and no hassle, like a new Tinder match. But that's not how you build leverage. That's how you stay permanently at the starting line of like 15 different races without ever finishing any of them. The people getting real value from AI made a decision at some point to stop auditioning new tools and start committing to the ones that they already had. They went through the frustrating middle part that we don't want to do. They refined their prompts. They built their systems. They got to the other side where the tool actually behaves consistently and it saves them time. It does what it should. But you can't get there if you keep leaving during halftime. Think of it like this: we didn't give up on an album after one listen. Like Nirvana's Nevermind did make sense to a lot of people at the time. You listened again, you let it develop, you listened again, you got it, and then it made sense. AI tools work pretty much the same way. The ones worth keeping reveal themselves over time, not just in a quick demo. So here's our assignment for this week. Step one, do the audit. 30 minutes, every tool, those three questions I gave you: roster, bench, or cut. Step two, pick one tool from your roster, the one you're using the most, but probably not using as well as you could, and commit to going deeper on that one for the next week. See how it works out for you. Read the documentation that you've skipped early on. Try a more specific prompt. Build one reusable template around it. See what it can do when you actually invest in it and learn it. And step three, unsubscribe from at least one thing today, not eventually, today. You know the one you need to look at. It had you at hello, but it's been sitting there for 3 months and you keep meaning to figure it out. Let it go. It's not going to happen. That's it. So that's the assignment. Audit, go deeper on one, cut one. If you want some help figuring out which tools actually make sense to your specific business, not in general, but for your business and your workflows, that's exactly what the No-BS AI audit is for. We look at what you've got, what's currently working, what's creating noise for you, and what's missing. Not generic advice, it's specific to you, and the link to grab one of those is just below. And if you haven't grabbed your free AI Clarity Starter Bundle yet, it's a good starting point for getting clear on what AI should actually be doing in your business before you add anything else to it. That's also linked just below and it's free, so go grab that. If this kind of no BS approach works for you, hit the subscribe button so we can keep hanging out. And take a deep breath, friends. We made it this far. Nobody is built for this like GenX. We're built for the revolution. We've survived every tech wave that tried to take us down. We'll get through this one too, and I think we're going to do it better than most. I'll see you next time.